Thursday. My name is Tom Campbell, and these are your AEW All Out 2020 predictions. Myself and a few of my esteemed colleagues are going to talk about what's going to go down this Saturday at All Out 2020. Don't forget, over the weekend, you will have Adam Pacitti streaming live reactions to All Out on the Cultaholic YouTube channel. And then on Sunday, AEW TF moments from All Out, what happened at All Out, and All Out Graded will be on this channel as well. Let's crack on. On the buy-in, we have the tooth and nail match between Dr. Britt Baker and Big Swole. This has been months in the making. First match back for Britt Baker, and it's not in a ring. It is in a dentist's office, Britt Baker's dentist office, according to Tony Khan. And for that reason, I think Britt has the home ground advantage. I think Dr. Baker is going to be winning this one. It's going to be like a sort of cinematic type affair, I think. And we're going to see somebody, at least one person, get strapped into a chair and almost have their teeth drilled. But I think Dr. Britt Baker walking out with the win. I can see Britt becoming the AEW Women's Champion before the year is out. She seems to be positioned in such a way that she would look so good with that belt around her waist and with a dentist's coat over the top. It's a strong look. Britt Baker for the win.
Right, so first of all, let's just put this down because it's horrible now. Thanks, Sam, for ruining the belt there, mate. Britt Baker versus Big Swole. I'm going to go for Britt Baker in this match for two simple reasons. First of all, Britt Baker's amazing. She deserves to be near the top of the card. She needs a big win after she's been out for so long. And I think that, she's going to get it. Secondly, it's a tooth and nail match. It's her speciality. It's probably going to be dentistry related. And she's a dentist. So put two and two together, guys. Britt Baker's going to win. Also, I'm very sad that this is on the pre-show.
So I'm going to go for Baker in this one. It's a dentistry-themed match. She's literally in a room filled with needles, Novocaine, and laughing gas. I think Swole's going to put up a hell of a fight, but I think Baker really needs this one. She's got to look strong. We need her to eventually take that title.
The Casino Battle Royale up next. Winner getting a shot at the AEW World title. Darby Allin, Lance Archer, Brian Cage, Ricky Starks, Pentagon Jr., Rey Fenix, The Butcher and the Blade, Eddie Kingston, Shawn Spears, Billy Gunn and Austin Gunn, Jake Hager, Santana and Ortiz, Chuck Taylor, Trent, and another to be confirmed on the lineup for that one. Yes, I had to cheat and look, shut up. I am picking Eddie Kingston to win this one. Kingston joined AEW recently with a lot of love online for the work that he has done. And I feel what a great welcome to the company present. What a great gift, a signing on gift, if you will, for Eddie Kingston to win this and get a shot at the AEW World Heavyweight Championship in the process. So I'm putting my money on Eddie Kingston.
Right, the Casino Battle Royale. I have racked my brain over this one, and everybody that I pick, I think, they're not going to win because I think of a reason for it. So, for example, Darby Allin, probably going to get taken out by Ricky Starks. Brian Cage, probably going to get taken out by Lance Archer, and vice versa. I think it's probably going to be someone from Eddie Kingston's faction, but I don't know if it's going to be Kingston himself. That would be cool if he was to use the faction to kind of secure himself a title shot, but maybe not yet. It feels like that story hasn't quite played out yet, and that will be jumping the gun slightly. So instead, I'm going to go for a member of his faction instead, not Kingston himself. I'm going to go for Pentagon Jr. I feel like he's the sort of guy that AEW have got on their hands where we kind of forget what a big deal he is because he's always in a tag team. But as soon as he is thrust into a singles feud, I think we're going to remember how important Pentagon is. So I'm going to go for Pentagon to get the win and get a title shot. I don't think he'll win the title. I think it'll be a little stopgap feud before the next big show.
So this one was pretty hard to call. I wanted to go for Wardlow and then have MJF win the main and set up this weird sort of quasi-feudy match thing going on between those two, but I just don't think that it's going to line up that way anymore. So instead, looking at the names, I've gone for Eddie Kingston. I think he's an interesting name. He's still fresh, still shiny. It'll be a hell of a match. So he doesn't have to win, of course, but,
In tag team action, the Jurassic Express taking on the Young Bucks. Seen these guys going back and forth a little bit over the last few weeks on Dynamite, and I feel like this is going to be a night that belongs to the Young Bucks. I feel like we are on that slow build once more up that road to Young Bucks versus FTR. And I feel like this match positions Young Bucks to start to make that dream a reality. There's another thing that needs to happen on this particular night. We'll talk about that in a bit. But Young Bucks for the win for me for this match.
The Young Bucks versus Jurassic Express, a match that was of course set up this week on Dynamite. It's got to be the Young Bucks, hasn't it? They've got more going for them storyline wise. I really feel like they should probably win. And also we're going to see if they're going to maybe turn heel or not. I think we'll see more heelish tendencies continue to creep in, but I don't know if they'll go full-blown heel quite yet. But the Young Bucks for the win. I think it's the right call. But at some point, can we please book Jurassic Express in a feud that they're actually going to win?
So I've gone for Young Bucks in this one. I think we've been preconditioned to the point where a Jurassic Express loss isn't really going to matter much, and this would be a sort of a palate cleanser of a victory here for the Bucks before they step on into the mounting drama that's going on in their kayfabe lives, everything that's happening with Paige, all of that. I think this could just be, boom, set the stage, all good, and it also frees them up, of course, for FTR.
In a match contested under broken rules, Matt Hardy is facing Sammy Guevara. If Matt Hardy loses, he must leave AEW forever, be deleted from AEW. I think Matt Hardy is winning the Daily's Place deletion here. Expect a whole bunch of silly shenanigans from Hardy and Guevara in this one. A very aggressive affair I am expecting. But Matt Hardy certainly to win this one out and move on to something else. I feel like Matt Hardy has rolled back into the groove of this company, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of people who want to watch Sammy Guevara get his head kicked in a creative way. So they'll make that happen at All Out, and then Matt Hardy will roll on to something else. So Matt Hardy to beat Sammy Guevara in the Broken Rules match.
Matt Hardy versus Sammy Guevara in the Broken Rules match. If Matt Hardy loses, of course, he is out of AEW. I almost went for Sammy Guevara. I had a weird little feeling that Matt was going to go away and then come back as a different form of himself or something similarly Matt Hardy about the whole thing. But I don't know if Matt Hardy... I'm just looking at it realistically. I don't know if Matt Hardy would take time away in the middle of, a lockdown when... he needs money. I don't know if he would take time away. Maybe he's going for surgery that we don't know about or something. But I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to go for Matt Hardy to get the win. Also, Sammy got the win like 2 weeks ago, so maybe Matt needs to get one back.
This one, again, I was sort of on the fence about. So Matt Hardy is not going away, surely, not this early. I thought similar to Jack that, we'd have maybe something along the lines of Matt Hardy losing here, going away and coming back with an entirely new character and gimmick, maybe that sort of reinvention style thing that Matt is known for, but he's just arrived pretty much. He hasn't really been in front of live audiences very long. It doesn't make sense for me up here to have him go away this early. I also think that a loss isn't really going to harm Sammy Guevara in the grand scheme of things. It's Matt Hardy, he's a wrestling legend.
8-man tag team action, the Dark Order taking on the Natural Nightmares, Scorpio Sky and Matt Cardona. Whilst I think this is the start of something beautiful for Cardona in AEW, I don't think he is winning out on this night. Dark Order have been on too much of a hot streak as of late. Brody becoming the AEW TNT champion in really aggressive fashion. It would be a shame to see that momentum stopped by losing this 8-man tag. So gutted for Cardona on his way in. Gutted for Scorpio Sky, who should be doing more. And the Natural Nightmares, they can afford a loss. To be fair, Dark Order, for me, are winning this one.
I'm going for the thrown together babyface team to get the win, which I think may surprise a few people because obviously the Dark Order have looked so dangerous and so dominant since Brody Lee won that belt. However, I think this match is going to be used to set up a future TNT title match, maybe the next show after All Out, for Brody Lee to defend his belt. And I think the man to do it is Matt Cardona. I don't think he's going to beat Brody Lee. I think Brody is going to beat him senseless and maybe anger Cody further wherever he is off hiding. So I think Matt Cardona is going to get the win, not pinning Brody Lee, pinning like one of the other members of the Dark Order. and we'll move towards a title match from there.
So I've got Dark Order in this one. I feel like they're starting to build into a credible threat of a team. That menacing nature is starting to come out more, and I think a dominant win here would do wonders for them. And also, the faces, you know, they're all mega faces. They can afford this loss. They can just hug and lift each other's arms up, and everybody will be like, yeah, that's our boys. So yeah, Dark Order in this one, fingers crossed.
The AEW Women's Championship is on the line. Hikaru Shida defending against the NWA Women's Champion, Thunder Rosa. I love the work of Thunder Rosa. She will bring the thunder. Well, Thunder Rosa. It's just nice to say her name as well, but I don't think she is taking the belt on this particular occasion. Hikaru Shida, I think, has other irons in the fire going forward. I mentioned earlier on in this video that Dr. Britt Baker should have that belt around her waist soon enough, and I think if she's going to take it from anybody, she's going to take it from Shida. So whilst I enjoy the fact that we're seeing the Thunder on Daily's Place-based television, I think the night belongs to Hikaru Shida.
Oh, this match, man. Do you know how much, with all my heart and soul, I want Thunder Rosa to win? I think she's brilliant. I'm such a big fan of hers. I would love it if she beat Hikaru Shida, but just logistically, I can't see it happening. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that Shida doesn't win, but I'm predicting Hikaru Shida. She is, of course, the AEW Women's Champion. I feel like we're building up Britt Baker for a future title reign, and she's got to take that belt off a babyface, really, doesn't she? Hikaru Shida is a babyface champion. It just kind of makes sense. It wouldn't work if Thunder Rosa was the champion, but I would absolutely love it if she picked up the victory. I think she's great. Obviously, it's going to be controversial if she does win because she's an outsider coming in from a different promotion to beat the women's champion of this promotion, but I think it would be a very bold and shocking booking decision. Ultimately, though, I'm going with my head over my heart, and I'm going for Hikaru Shida to retain.
Next up, I think that I've gone pretty safe with this one. I've gone for Shida. As much as I like Thunder Rosa, I don't really think that it would make much sense to take it off Shida, put it on Rosa, and move away from this whole Baker thing. And then at the same time, we've got, you know, the fact she's NWA champion. Are they going to put the AEW title on the NWA champion? Is that going to keep on going? What's happening with NWA? Nobody knows. I guess that's all playing into this. But, you know, I just think Shida's going to keep hold of it.
The AEW World Tag Team titles are on the line. It is Kenny Omega and Hangman Page versus FTR. We have seen FTR getting right under the skin of Adam Page over the last week or so, and I think it will be the undoing of the tag team champions. FTR, I think, are leaving Daily's Place on Saturday with the belts. I think it's been a really good run for Omega and Page. They have had some crackers since they became the champion, and I think they will go out with a bang. I feel like this could be the match that steals the night with these guys all in there together. I just think they're just going to go for broke, and I think they'll have a blinder of a match. But I think FTR are going to be your new World Tag Champions when the dust settles.
FTR have been masterful heels in the build-up to this, befriending Hangman, convincing him to betray the Young Bucks, driving a huge wedge between their opponents, and now I think they're going to pick the bones, and FTR are going to become the new AEW Tag Team Champions, thereby setting up a future shot between them and the Young Bucks down the line, which is the match that obviously we've all been waiting for and really want to see. But to get there, one of those teams has to be champion. FTR have a title shot. I just don't think it gets more simple than that. However, the match isn't going to be a simple one. The match is going to be awesome, hopefully, and probably the match of the night, maybe even a match of the year contender. We shall see.
I think FTR are walking away with this one. Paige and Kenny have enough going on at 100%. I've just got a feeling in my heart that Paige is going to finally turn on Kenny Omega. He's been far too chummy with FTR so far. Everything's falling apart in his life with his former friends, and he's still having to work alongside one of them, so this is not going to end well.
Chris Jericho and Orange Cassidy going one-on-one in a Mimosa Mayhem match. It is to be decided by pinfall, submission, or hoying your opponent into a vat of mimosa. This has to be Orange Cassidy. It absolutely does. It's great to see the stock of Orange Cassidy rising so much in AEW, to be mixing it up with a guy like Chris Jericho. Only big things for Orange Cassidy going forward. But the whole reason I think this is Cassidy's night isn't because like the feud should decide it, but I think Chris Jericho just wants that moment where he's flopping around on the outside of the ring drenched in mimosa. I feel like that is all this match is building up to, is the visual of Orange Cassidy throwing Chris Jericho into a vat of mimosa and then just him being all wet and flopping around afterwards. And then where Orange Cassidy goes from here, I don't know. Hopefully up, but I think regardless of where he goes next, he's winning at All Out. And Jericho's going to flop around in mimosa.
Ah yes, the Mimosa Mayhem match. The clue to this one, I think, is in the stipulation. So we've got you can win by pinfall or submission or by throwing your opponent into the vat of mimosa. Let's not be around the bush. We all know that Chris Jericho is going into that vat of mimosa. But I'm asking, why are those other stipulations there, the pinfall and the submission? Could it be that Jericho is going to get the win and then Orange Cassidy or somebody else will throw Jericho into the vat of mimosa? That is why, quite riskily, I'm going for Chris Jericho to win this match, but then afterwards he will be the one who ends up in the vat. Because I can't see him putting over Orange Cassidy twice, I'm sorry.
This one's been pretty difficult for me to choose too, because it makes the most sense here for Jericho to go in and it all be, big, happy Orange Cassidy victory and this can all be done. But at the same time, could you have Orange Cassidy get thrown into the vat and then go all moody and have to go away and find himself? I definitely think it's going to be the former, so I've got Orange Cassidy to win in this one.
And in the main event, the AEW World Championship is on the line as John Moxley defends against MJF. This feels like the night for MJF. He is very much going to be AEW's first homegrown star to become the world champion. And when I say homegrown star, I know he's done stuff in other companies, but he very much feels like an AEW guy. Not somebody that's coming from WWE or from elsewhere. Obviously, he did stuff in Major League Wrestling. I know all that, but it feels like he's an AEW guy, all right? And I feel like this is their opportunity to put the belt on him and have him sort of have the company sort of redesigned in his image. I think there is a lot of marketability to have MJF as your AEW champion. It raises the stock of MJF. I don't think Moxley loses anything by becoming the title chaser as opposed to the champion. I don't think he loses anything for it. I think it's all to gain for MJF on Saturday, and I think he'll leave with the title. MJF to become the AEW World Heavyweight Champion.
Right, the AEW World title match. For the whole build-up, I thought MJF was going to win until this week. I was convinced by the amount of interviews he was doing, the amount of video packages and promos and stuff he was getting. I thought this was MJF's time. I thought they were finally going to give the belt to him, but now I don't think so. Not after this week. Not after that vicious beatdown on Moxley to close the show. Maybe it's a little double swerve and they're going to say, yeah, MJF stood tall at the end of the go-home show and he's going to get the win, but I can't see it happening. I am going to predict John Moxley to retain, which is a last-minute change of heart for myself, but I'm going to go for it anyway. I think this could potentially be the time when MJF accidentally annoys Wardlow one step too far and Wardlow just leaves him or batters him and walks out and Moxley can win. I don't know. I just feel like MJF went over too strong at the end of this week's Dynamite to actually win that belt on Saturday night. Also, excuse me, I think the next champion after Moxley is not going to be MJF. I think it's going to be Hangman Page. And obviously to get there, we need Moxley as the champion still. And I'm really banking on that. So I'm going for John Moxley to retain, but I'll be watching with bated breath, everybody. Can't wait. Very excited.
As much as I want champion MJF, I just don't think it's the right time to do it just yet. I think it's going to be a hell of a match for sure, and I think that it's going to be obviously heavily weighted in MJF's favour in terms of Moxley getting beaten down. I think it's just going to be like really, really heely performance here from MJF, leading to maybe a ref bump and a paradigm shift to pick up the win. It's either that or he just straight up murders the absolute piss out of him because he's John Moxley. He can do whatever the hell he wants.
So those are our predictions, no punishments or anything like that. This is just for fun, this one. It's a friendly match, if you will. You can watch Adam Pachiti's live reactions to AEW All Out on the Cultaholic YouTube channel. He'll be there live on Saturday night for your pleasure. And on Sunday, you can expect what happened at All Out, your AEW TF moments for All Out. We're going to do All Out graded and everything else to come following AEW All Out 2020. However you watch it, have a lovely time. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.